To select stitches on the Pfaff Creative 4.5 sewing machine, you'll notice that you can just touch the screen and the stitch will show in the stitch selection area. Now, to get to all the stitches, you want to touch the menu button, and you'll notice that you have categories at the top, subcategories, and then stitches in each of those subcategories. They're each identified with a title at the top, so from utility stitches to quilting stitches. So you'll notice that as you look here, there's multiple groupings of different kinds of quilting stitches, crazy patch stitches, and so forth. Plus, if you see the little arrow pointing down, that means that there are more to see. So on this one, there's 21 stitches in that. Oh no, that goes ahead and moves it from group to group. There we go. And that is a quick way to cycle through, as well as touching here at the top. So do take some time to stitch out all your decorative stitches because they look so much more exciting on fabric than they do on screen. Decorative stitches, look at how many you have in this machine. Plus, when you get to what's called maxi stitches, this means that these are stitches that are extra wide. You'll see them much larger on your screen. Remember, what you see here is actual size. This will require a foot number 8. You have that in your accessory box for you to use. And it also shows you with a green plus where the stitch actually starts, and that will change from stitch to stitch. So just keep that looking there. So for example, if I've been sewing a straight decorative stitch, to get back to a straight stitch, touch the menu button, choose utility stitches from the top category, and with the subcategory also at 1, choose stitch number 1. Now you're back to kind of those particular groupings, and you can pick from those stitches or select as you want. Now let me show you one more thing about stitches. When you do select them, you'll notice the green box around it, and then we can start to make adjustments from stitch length. And again, what you see on screen, I've made that stitch longer. It shows it noted in a green number. That means that I've changed it from the default number. The 3.5 was what this machine set this stitch at for stitch length. We have stitch width and stitch length. So stitch width here will go up to 9 on most stitches there. And you can easily return to the default setting of those stitches by selecting the stitch again. You'll notice everything will go back to the white number, not green, which means that you've changed it. You can also, here, let's do this. Let's say we've changed it. If you just choose another stitch and come back to that stitch, that also will clear it out. And if you do want to keep those settings, you can save this stitch into your personal area. So there is a place where you can save it into your machine. And then that way you can choose a place, and then those settings for that stitch will be retained for later use after you turn the machine off. So once again, we'll just reselect the stitch. Everything goes back to normal, but we still have that stitch saved in our favorites menu that we can always retrieve at a later time.